This week on the Movies and Stuff show, we go rogue. Talk about Nick Pizzolatto's new show, decide if method acting is dead, and then discuss the top 10 best films that bombed in the summertime. Stay tuned. And welcome once again to the Movies and Stuff show. We are coming to you live from the suburbs of New Jersey and Missouri. My name is Dan, and joining me is a man who is known as Darth Vapor.
Aha.
Abe.
It keeps me charming and personable.
It really does. You know, I'm constantly impressed with the new graphics that you're coming up with for the show. I have no idea what to expect whenever the show starts anymore.
Panic is a good motivator.
It's like, let's figure something out.
Yes.
It works well. Darth Vapor. I said that on purpose, I guess, because last week on the Master Debaters show, last Thursday, we had Marty on as one of our guests in the group, and he was half listening to us and half watching the TV for the new Rogue One trailer that actually didn't come out while he was on the show.
Nope.
They end up showing up at like 10:30 or 10:45 at night or something.
Another victory for NBC.
Yeah, but after the show got aired, he saw it. We all got to see it, actually. And at the very, very end of it, what do we see?
What do we see?
Clip of Darth Vader.
Oh.
Very little teaser.
Just a little tiny teaser.
Just the tip. And the international trailer also came out and has some daddy issues, it seems.
God damn it. That really pissed me off. Another Star Wars movie, another daddy issue movie. Come on now. I was shocked that new Rey, not Rey, is being told about her father.
Well, her father's going to be Mads Mikkelsen. Right? I mean, that's
the rumor, right?
That's the rumor. That Mads is somehow involved with... I kind of get like the vibe of that whole like holding a scientist against his will to build the Death Ray.
I think that was the plot of like Pink Panther 4. Yeah.
I mean, it's the Shadow, right? I mean, it's almost like the Shadow too, or a lot of those movies that were just where you hold the scientist captive. I mean, I guess like Nazi Germany, real life, just keeping scientists doing like weird experiments. Maybe that's gonna be Mads. Marty is saying in the chat that the father thing was already known. He knew that. He went to Star Wars Con or whatever the hell that was.
Yes.
I didn't go to Star Wars Con, so I didn't know it.
I think we've all been conned by Star Wars.
I don't know, man. Rogue One looks good.
It does. I mean, on a purely technical level, it does look good. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious to see if Disney is actually ever going to throw us a wrinkle, or if it's just they've got the modus operandi. Just add water, go.
Yeah.
And the whole idea that there's going to be Force users. I was really thinking this, and our friend Stefan really got mad about this. I thought we were going to see just normal people, normal on the ground people dealing with this, not more Force users. Or Force-sensitive people, I should say.
Yeah, there's a lot of Force-sensitive people in there. And
every motherfucker's a Force-sensitive.
And our buddy Robert Melee is basically saying that every great mad scientist villain had a crap dad. Is that true?
I don't know.
Is that true?
I don't know.
If I would be a mad scientist villain, I would hope to have a good dad. That was also a mad scientist villain. That trained me to be a good mad scientist villain. I don't know, man. Like, I agree with you. I wonder if there's going to be something different at some point, because if Disney's taught us anything, it's that they find a formula and they just keep using it until people don't care anymore. And so far, just saying, Marvel is making them tons of money, and it's just the same movie over and over again.
Yeah. Honest to God, that trailer, the thing that stuck out to me was like, well, that's kind of cool. We've never seen them jump to hyperdrive in kind of out of focus. That was my big takeaway from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have a blind quasi Jedi though, as Marty points out in the chat.
Oh, okay.
So he's not force sensitive. He's just blind. He's like what was it? Daredevil is the blind one.
Daredevil's the blind one.
Yeah, he's like Daredevil.
All
He's
right.
the Daredevil. So they're just like using their own property to using other properties.
No, I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess.
Yeah.
Optimistic that I'll die before it comes out and I don't have to review it. But
And Shawn in the chat is saying that Rogue One should have been shot in black and white. He's stuck on this whole black and white thing. He wants his Casablanca in space.
he
right?
had Casablanca in space if the dumbass would just watch Deep Space Nine.
And yes, Robert Melee, we were all force sensitive, but I don't want to get into that because it's a personal issue. Topic number 2.
Topic number 2.
The PIZZ is back.
Is that we're gonna sing?
The PIZZ is back. Why not? Why not? Let's sing. I'm drinking gin right now,
I don't. Yeah.
and it is delicious.
Yes.
When it hits your tongue, it's delicious. The PIZZ I'm talking about. Season 3 of True Detective is still not happening. But Nick Pizzolatto Pizzapata, the PIZZ, he appears to be coming back to HBO. He's going to do a series. He's co-developing with Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh.
Apparently, the series was rumored to be a Perry Mason reboot. And Mr. Downey Jr. is going to play Perry Mason.
Well, that's interesting.
It reminds me of an Ozzy Osbourne song called Perry Mason. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Is PIZZ going to strike gold?
This is actually kind of embarrassing. I put my little notes and ideas in Google Docs, and apparently it's locked up. I have some, just jotted down lazily. Let me see. No, I'm really, really excited to see what he's going to do. Yep. I'm really, really excited to see what he's going to do. I think the PIZZ is an amazing, original guy who comes up with fantastic ideas. I am so looking forward to this. Just so excited. That's really all I had.
Well, I agree. People are still look at this. People are still talking about Star Wars in the chat. I'm already making fun of us because he knows. Of course, he knows Star Wars better than I know Star Wars. I'm not gonna deny that.
Yes, Perry Mason was the Ironside guy, Shawn.
Yeah. Let's see. Deep Space Nine. I'm not trying to go to sleep. That's Jamil. I love Deep Space Nine.
You guys are all dead to me. Like,
not me. I love Deep Space Nine.
You don't go through Dan to get on the show. You go through me, fools.
And not only, Marty, did I like the True Detective Season 2 finale, I like the whole season.
Oh.
I really like True Detective Season 2.
You also like Lost, so let's just...
Loved Lost.
Yeah.
Topic 3.
Yeah.
Topic 3. Method acting is dead. Did we have a funeral for it? I did not get invited to this. I'm playing the role of a drunk tonight, so I am drinking gin live on the show to method my way through this episode. This is SBS Movies. They had an article about how Hollywood has ruined method acting. And one of the things that they cite is Jared Leto's recent turn as the Joker as proof. And, I've seen some great method acting performances. Some of the great method actors that I can think of, Daniel Day-Lewis, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Works for him. He's great at it. Tom Noonan, I think Tom Noonan, great method actor, fantastic. Sam Rockwell, another one, does really good method. But overall, I've always thought it to be overrated. I personally always thought that it was a gimmick of some sorts, and this article is, pretty much backing that in a way and saying that's almost like a marketing gimmick at this point. And I can't disagree. I do think that it's gone a little too far. I won't go as far as to say that method acting is dead. I think it's broken off into two branches, and that is serious method acting that actually works, and then this crap method acting that's been watered down and most actors try to do, and they're just not good at it.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. This method acting that they talk about in the press is it's just publicity. That's all it is. Just another branch of, the publicity that they do for a film. You mentioned Daniel Day-Lewis. By accounts of people who were on the set of There Will Be Blood, he's shooting the shit with them during the downtime, talking to them like normal people. He's not sending people used condoms or rats in boxes. They said Daniel Day-Lewis is gracious and he's a lot of fun to be around. He's nowhere near as intense as you think he would be.
But for Lincoln, like he had people call him Mr. President.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Thinking of Tom Noonan, when he did Monster Squad, he dressed as I interviewed the actress that played Phoebe in Monster Squad, and she said she never met Tom Noonan until years later, because during the film, like, he's walking around as Frankenstein the whole time. I think there is some real method acting, but it's not douchebag. Like what Jared Leto did was douchebag. And to answer your question, Shawn, I am drinking Hendrick's gin, and it is fantastic.
I'm with you. I've read a lot of accounts of people that have met Jared Leto. No one has a good story that starts, "Hey, I met Jared Leto." Nobody has a good story.
I almost just spit gin all over the screen. No, I mean, I've never been a huge fan of Jared Leto. I liked him as the Joker.
I think we all know my feelings.
I know your feelings on it as well, but
somebody call him transgender James Cagney. I thought that was pretty funny.
he needed a little bit more old school gangster. It's like, Shane, I'm the Joker, Shane.
He was that close to doing it.
With his busted ass grill that didn't get explained in the actual movie, but maybe in one of the 6 freaking cuts of the film that will end up showing someday. I'm still angered by that.
Oh man,
there was parts of a great film wrapped in a enema of Jared Leto's that he sent to. What was that video you sent me?
Oh, that video. Right. It was the cast of Suicide Squad on Conan, and they come out, the crowd goes nuts for like 90 seconds just screaming over the cast of Suicide Squad. And then they all take their seats on the stage. And Margot Robbie specifically was trying to trade seats with people so she wouldn't have to sit next to Leto. And one of the women jokingly said when she was forced to sit next to him, "You're going to get fired."
That's terrible.
I think there's a little bit of truth in that one. A little bit of truth in that joke.
So let's go comments. Jamil saying a pimp named Joker. The Joker was kind of a pimp, right?
Yeah, I guess so. With a pimp of one, I guess that's technically the smallest pimp you can be, right? You have just one woman.
Robert Melee is calling him Scar Joker Face, I guess after Scarface.
Yeah, that's what he was.
Dude, I want more like, I want 20s gangster. I want Joker in the next film to just like, I'm the Joker.
He should, how about that? He should laugh more. Maybe smile on occasion. Just saying. He's the Joker. Yeah,
smiling. You're smiling. I want to see Jamil wear every single Joker that the outfit, every single outfit.
He was a snazzy dresser. There's no lie, but wasn't Black Mask the more mafia guy that would hang out in nightclubs? I don't know.
We have to think about Halloween because I want you dressed as a pimp Joker. Just buy like one of those cheesy ass pimp outfits at costume shop.
All right, so what are we talking about today?
We have a great show lined up this week. We're going to talk about the top 10 best summer films that failed, that bombed. And we're going to count down these top 10, and it's not just based off of box office alone.
No.
A bomb could be critically or just fans hated it.
We had to widen the parameters when we found out this was so damn hard.
It was very, very hard. I mean, I sent Abe my first list, and 4 out of the 5 movies happened in like November and December. I'm like, well, that's not going to be good. So we're going to do our list, and we're going to do something really cool. We had some of our colleagues send us videos of their list.
Colleagues. This is kind of elevating them a little high, isn't it?
I'd say how many videos?
We had our colleagues and Jamil join us to discuss.
I was about to say how many sent them in.
We've got Jamil, we've got Stefan, we've got Shawn, we've got Amanda, and I know I'm going to forget somebody. No, it's it. Jamil, Amanda, Stefan, Shawn.
So we got 4.
Yep.
So 3 colleagues and 1 person I don't like.
Oh,
I'm kidding. No, at the
Stefan, I'm so sorry.
we'll count down all of our lists, me and Abe, and then at the very end we'll post those videos, and then we'll stay around in the chat and we'll kind of chat about those. So I think it's really cool. So we're gonna start off with my
Northern Hemisphere summer. I like that.
number 5.
Your number 5. Boom.
Bum, bum, bum. Hey, I already made a Shadow reference this episode.
Oh, I noticed.
Yeah, because that's how I roll. And Shadow's a great film, and we actually talked about that.
Yes, we did.
A while back. And you were joking about not being able to find your notes, and I seriously lost my notes. I cannot find my notes at this point.
You have too many windows open. Just say, I like the Shadow. It was cool.
I had this all prepped, and this is such a bummer. Where the hell are these notes? This is killing me. Anyway,
You want me to go
Shadow.
to my number 5 while you
No.
I think flounder? Is that what we...
No, when you do your next one, I'll try to find my notes again because this is kind of ridiculous. But I'll talk about the Shadow a bit. From what I can remember from my notes, is the anticipation of this film was it to be this franchise. Like the expectations were so high over it, and it did not do that well at the box office. It faced some stiff competition, and it came out in '94, and '94 was a big year for films, and it came out like less than a week after The Shadow was Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that was a...
So you're going up against Forrest Gump, and then at the end of that month, when The Shadow is still limping along, the death knell was The Mask. Jim Carrey was huge at the time, and that was the kind of comic-y film that took the summer over.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
But The Shadow, we have an episode about it. We talked to Penelope Ann Miller, who was really it was one of my favorite interviews we've ever done. She was so cool. Mm-hmm. And talking about Scarface, she was in Scarface, right?
Yeah, I think she was, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was in Scarface. Yeah, and was it Scarface? She was in.
She was in Carlito's Way.
She was Carlito's Way.
Yeah,
same thing. She was Carlito's Way. Yeah.
Carlito's Way is better than Scarface.
Yeah, so I go with The Shadow. I really enjoyed it. Great performances, fantastic set pieces. I think really kind of an overlooked gem of a film. Everyone should go check out The Shadow.
All right.
Now I'm going to find my notes.
All right. Well, I guess I'll talk while you pretend to listen.
Yes.
Number 5, Cleopatra. In today's dollars, Cleopatra cost $320 million. No bullshit. It was the biggest movie of the year in '63, but it was still a financial disaster for Fox. Now, I think when you're talking box office bombs, there's 3 movies in history that you have to keep in mind. Cleopatra, which killed the big-budgeted historical epic, The Greatest Story Ever Told, which killed the biblical epic, and then Heaven's Gate, which killed everything. But yeah, I mean, Cleopatra was surrounded in scandal, and it was surrounded in gossip, and the budget just kept ballooning and ballooning. And when it came out, everyone was like, it was okay. And Liz Taylor said she hated it. She said they butchered it and they cut the heart out of the movie. Man.
When did it get released?
63.
No, which month?
Which month?
If you don't know off the top of your head.
I don't know off the top of my head. June.
Okay. I've never seen it. I've heard of it. It definitely is worthy of being on this list.
Liz Taylor is probably worthy of being seen in this movie, I would say.
That's something. You're getting some love for Carlito's Way, by the way. Shawn is saying, fuck yeah, Abe. Carlito's Way.
Yeah, all right.
And Shawn also hated The Mask, except for Cameron Diaz's hotness. Cameron Diaz was hot?
In that movie, that was probably the best she ever looked. Yeah. Right. It's before they got a hold of her and said, you need to lose 50 pounds and become a
Here's some Botox for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I found my notes, by the way.
Oh, good. I was really on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. Now I'll be focused.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready. Another one we did an entire episode on.
Cross promotion, huh?
Is really cross promotion. If we were smart, we would put like little links to these, like, you know, but we're not smart.
That's Marty's job, right?
We need to hire someone to do that. Marty's just keeping Twitter alive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This was supposed to be released in Halloween time. The studio thought so highly of it that it released it in the middle of July 1996 to go up against Independence Day. So again, it's great that the studio thought so highly of it, but probably fucked it over by not releasing it during Halloween. And it's a terrific film. And it would have done so much better box office if it were released in the fall. But, I think the budget for Peter Jackson, it was a big budget for him at the time. We know Peter Jackson kind of got some bloated budgets after that. But it was $30 million he got to make the Frighteners. So for him, that was a pretty big budget in $96, and it grossed 28.4.
Yeah, it didn't light the world on fire.
Shame. It's a fantastic film.
No, it is
really,
a lot
really
of
is.
fun. Yeah.
Shawn agrees with me. He says Frighteners was a great flick. The dude we interviewed was fun. He was fun. It was really good. He was another. Penelope Ann Miller and him were the two talkers.
Yes, they were. You just
Sometimes we gotta pry people a bit, and they hit the ground running. To the point where I don't even think we got an actual intro in. I think we had to edit an intro to that interview.
We had to insert one afterwards. Yeah, because he was just off and running.
Love the Frighteners though.
Oh, it's a good one. All right. Star Trek V, baby. Star Trek V. Everybody cites Star Trek Beyond as, it's so awesome because it gets Star Trek. I would argue
you were one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I am too. I agree. But I would say that, broadly speaking, Star Trek V gets Star Trek. Shatner actually understands Star Trek to a large degree. He just doesn't understand the details of Star Trek. That's a little bit lost on him. The character and the humor, that's a little tough for him. But I don't think Star Trek V is as unwatchable as everybody says it is. I would take this over Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah, I mean, I would take this over quite a few of the next gen movies that didn't quite probably were some summer bombs out of those that we didn't mention on purpose. I agree with you about Shatner, and I think for as much of his ego and as much of his over the top nature, there was some subtlety to his directing style, and he was put up against a wall. He was put up against a time crunch and a budgetary crunch.
Oh yeah, Paramount undercut him every chance they got,
and he rolled with it.
Mm-hmm.
And in that capacity as a director, it's probably been his shining moment in a Star Trek film in a way.
Yeah.
He was who he was on the show. But I mean, I think as a director,
George Takei complimented him. Said, we had our history, but he was good as a director.
You are getting some disagreement in the chat though.
About what?
Jamil, Star Trek V, fuck out of here.
It was a failure. I'm not saying it didn't succeed. I'm saying I kind of liked it. I'm not. And plus, I mean, I'm going to tell you now, best soundtrack of any Star Trek movie ever. Goldsmith was knocking it out of the park.
Well, Sean's agreeing with you.
There you go.
He says epic storyline, maybe a failure, but cool.
There you go.
So there's that.
All right, time to go on to your number 3, eh?
3.
There we go.
I love Ang Lee's Hulk, but most fans and critics, not so much. Not so much. Worldwide, it did make money, but domestically, it was a bomb. And you know what I love about Hulk was it was a Greek tragedy, and it really focused in on the psychological aspects of this man, this Hulk. Had some great acting. I love the character in this, and in many ways, it's an interpretation of the comic book character of the Hulk. But Tim Burton's Batman was an interpretation of, those characters. It wasn't like a straight up adaptation, and that was received positively. I think nowadays, especially from what I've seen from DC movies, people aren't open to interpretations.
I know, no. They want exactly what they saw in the comic on the screen. No deviation whatsoever.
So you're a fan of Ang Lee's Hulk, right?
Yeah, I was. At the time, I thought it was probably the best you could do with the Hulk.
Yeah. Well, I think it has been.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, no, honestly, like I actually like Mark Ruffalo, and I think his version of the Hulk is good for what it is. But for people to say it's like, oh, they finally got the Hulk right, in what capacity? Like he's a bit character in these Marvel films. Until he
Right.
gets his own film where he can shine in, uh, I can't really back this. This was a whole film about the Hulk. Until they do Hulk in outer space or whatever they're planning to do, Planet Hulk, with this Mark Ruffalo Hulk, I can't fully back it. But that said, I enjoy him. I've always liked Mark Ruffalo as an actor.
Yeah.
And he does really well in the minor role of the Hulk that he gets to play. All right, getting some Hulk love. All right. Well, not Marty. Marty. Hulk and season 2 True Detective. Dan, everybody. Fuck you, Marty.
I like that. I like that.
Shawn, good call on Hulk, Dan. Thank you, Shawn. Jamil, I kind of like the Hulk too. It had a unique style. See, I'm not, I'm not wrong. And Marty like Ed Norton. Oh, Marty, everybody. Ed Norton. Yeah, you're number 3.
My number 3. Let's see here. There we go. It takes a special movie. It really takes a very special movie to destroy an entire division of a major studio. But Titan AE did that. Titan AE destroyed Fox Animation. And it's not that bad. It's I'm not going to say it is an amazing film, but it's engaging. It's watchable. I kind of liked it. I thought it had some interesting ideas, and the performances were interesting. I like Titan AE. But it was a bomb. It was a bomb.
Oh, it's a bomb of all bombs. Like, when was Cutthroat Island released? That was a summer bomb, right?
No, I don't think it was. Was it summer? I thought Cutthroat
summer?
Island was a. I thought that was a winter release.
Oh, because
December.
I put bomb of all bombs as Cutthroat Island number 1, bomb of all bombs, probably Titan AE number 2. Well, maybe Cleopatra, then Titan AE. I mean, you're talking about like it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly one of the producers, I think it was a producer, said it cost Fox $100 million. They lost $100 million on this. Yeah.
Jamil likes Titan AE. He says it's
go.
underrated.
Yes, it is.
And let's see. Marty says that Jin makes Dan mean.
Oh,
And Robert Melee says Dan makes Jin mean.
there you go.
And Shawn says Jin makes most people mean. It's really good gin, by the way. You've had Hendrix before, or?
Me? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've had Hendrix
Yeah,
before.
I've had it before. Yeah.
You're a Beefeater guy, though.
I think Beefeater hits the sweet spot between price and taste. Yeah.
Price and taste. Gin drink is out there. Let me know what you're drinking. What are we doing? My number 2?
They're doing your number 2.
Man, my notes got erased for the next 2. I can't believe this. I might have to pull this up on my phone to see if...
Well, I can help you out here. You can say unworthy of Spielberg or Kubrick.
Oh,
Just start with that.
Boo. I wonder if my notes actually...
Jamil likes Ghostbusters.
See, that's true. I wonder if we'll see some Ghostbusters. I'm trying to see if my notes are coming up.
That's okay.
All right. Whatever. I'm just gonna roll with this. I know there's gonna be some disagreement on it, as you've already said. I loved AI when I first saw it in the theater. I think on subsequent repeat viewings, I loved it. It did make money. It did make money worldwide. It was not a huge hit in regards to Spielberg territory. I think the studio was thinking that it was going to be a lot bigger than it actually was. I don't know. I know you don't hate AI though, right?
Oh, I don't hate AI. No, I really, like I said, though, I feel like it's unworthy of Kubrick or probably even Spielberg. Yeah.
I think it came out to mixed kind of fan response. I think over time, I think more people have grown to enjoy AI, and I think there's a second love for it. But yeah, I mean, I think hey, let's look at the let's see. Uh, Shawn, no, not Alan Iverson, the movie. Robert May liked AI, and Alex, finally a movie I saw.
We're talking
It's not
about
a glowing review.
practice,
It's
not a
not a
game.
it's not a glowing review.
Practice.
Um, I don't know. I think it's I don't like jumping on bandwagons and things. I've always liked AI. Seeing people kind of love it after hating it kind of irks me. I hate when that happens. It makes me like not want to like it as much.
I got you. I got you.
But I still do.
There you go. Well, if it's any consolation, I will never change my opinion on that crap.
Do you think AI would be done differently today?
Yeah, it'd probably be. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. From Spielberg, absolutely. He would probably want to tone it down even more. He'd probably want to soften it even more.
Do you think there would be male prostitution among robots nowadays? With the Zika virus, you'd think that would increase, right?
Yeah, you'd think so.
You know.
I would probably want to include, like, people protesting for rights of robots.
They should. All robot lives matter.
I'm not. Yeah. All right. No, I mean, like, we have seen it though. There are conferences now about the future of AI and ensuring rights for them and things like that.
Right.
Yeah. So it would be really interesting to see kind of more
Donald Trump building a wall to keep the robots out.
There you go. That would be interesting.
They want to change the teddy bear into an Ewok. Alex does.
Oh, okay.
I'll break. You're number 2. I'm going to try to find my notes for number 1.
My break.
I'll still be listening to you.
My number 2, Speed Racer. This is interesting because I'm kind of wrapping Speed Racer and Dukes of Hazzard together here in my mind. It was kind of a toss-up. I'm saying, but with those two movies, what the fuck did you expect? I think, given the source material, I think it's a miracle. And Stefan actually challenged me earlier in the week to revisit Speed Racer, and I did. I mean, I didn't quite get through all of it, but I rewatched a good chunk of it. Man, there's something there, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's the way it throws information at you is really interesting, and it's probably the last hurrah of the Wachowskis before they completely went off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something about Speed Racer. I can't quite quantify it. I can't quite get a grasp on it, but there's something special going on there.
There's a lot of love for Speed Racer nowadays, I feel. I do think that upon revisiting, there's a lot more people that have come to its defense. And, my whole thing is it's not like the cartoon was anything spectacular itself.
What the fuck did you expect? That's really, yeah.
Based off the source material, I feel that it was pulpy enough. I think it hit the right chords. I think visually it's stunning.
Mm-hmm.
It is a like amazing piece of eye candy there, and that alone, makes it worthwhile to watch. Mm-hmm. It's just what they did visually. I don't know, man.
I feel like there's somebody else who's going to weigh in on this too, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
I have a feeling.
You want to keep BSing to see if the chat starts?
No. I mean, later on in the show, I have a feeling somebody else is going to bring this up. And
oh, okay, okay. Oh, you've actually seen the videos. I haven't. Among meth heads, Speed Racer is genius, says Marty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got nothing to that.
All right. Number 1.
Number 1.
Is this a film worthy of being Kubrick?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is Kubrick.
This is Kubrick in a nutshell. And his last film absolutely bombed in the United States. Terribly in the United States. Had a $65 million budget. And most of that was the salaries of Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
60 million of that was those two, yeah.
I'd probably say like 35 million. That's is just their salaries, I bet. Because at the time, Cruise was pulling in 20 mil a movie, and Nicole Kidman was probably pulling in like 15 or something like that. Because wage inequality and all that stuff. It made $160 million worldwide, so not bad, right?
No.
In the United States, it's only 55 million though.
Yeah.
It lost 10. It technically lost 10 million, and the film started out really strong. Opening weekend, it made 27 million, which was over the projected opening weekend was supposed to be 20 million. So it actually did really well opening weekend, and then by week two, it just plummeted. The studio considered it a failure. I think at the time it was is that JFK Jr.'s plane went missing.
Oh, was it?
So that like absorbed the second weekend. Like people were just kind of glued to their TV. Uh, I love Eyes Wide Shut though. Man.
Oh, it's so good. I agree with you.
And it's
so
aged so well. And as I've gotten older, I've appreciated different things about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, no, there's more emotion to it than on first look. Even I think there is a really deepness to it, and I love the haunting fake New York that he built.
Yes. I mean, I think people took the movie a little too literally.
Yeah,
Yeah, and this is coming from someone who takes P.T. Anderson literally too. So,
it's you.
yeah.
Shawn saying Eyes Wide Shut is gorgeous to look at.
Yeah.
I wanted more of the creepy stuff. Yeah, creepy stuff was good, and the uncut version is even creepier.
Yeah.
Eyes Wide Shut is freaking ponderous, says Jamil. Alex says it was a good movie.
There you go.
And Marty says, can't imagine why they would put that out in July. Yeah, there's no reason to put that out. There was no reason for Eyes Wide Shut to be a summer film. Why? Because Tom Cruise was in it?
Right, that's what they were banking on. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
A ton of money. It should have been a December release.
It's a Christmas movie. It was on somebody's list for the best Christmas movies of all time.
Indeed. I wonder who that was.
I don't know. Some genius, I would imagine.
Maybe you should check out our channel where we did that.
Yes.
All right.
Is that it?
You got your number one.
All right. The Lone Ranger. And I'm going to admit, this is probably in there because I couldn't put Tron Legacy or John Carter in. So I took another hugely budgeted Disney flick that just bombed.
I could see Jack Random just going, Abe, the fuck?
Hey, I'm not the only one. Tarantino said it was pretty good too. So there you go. And I'll admit, Lone Ranger is at times a bit of a slog. The story could really have used another rewrite or two to tighten it up because it's kind of all over the place. But that last action sequence, man, shows why Verbinski is the best big budgeted action director out there, bar none. That man knows what he's doing, and it is just glorious to watch. I mean, the Lone Ranger's with his horse on top of a train chasing the bad guy. I mean, this is pulp western at its finest. I love it. I will actually go to YouTube occasionally just to watch the final action sequence again because it's that good.
Wow. Marty says, yikes. Jamil says, I love John Carter.
And John Carter's awesome.
Ponyboy says, poor Thomas Gibson.
I have no respect for the source material. I'm not going to lie. I don't care what Lone Ranger is. I just find it to be really well done.
And Johnny Depp was good as Tonto?
I didn't hate him.
I mean, on the scale of hating Johnny Depp.
It was one of his least annoying performances. I would rather hang out with Tonto than Captain Jack.
It's funny too. Is like when all the stuff about Johnny Depp started coming out recently, all I could keep in my mind is like he like carries his Captain Jack Sparrow costume with him. So if he ever is in an area, he'll visit sick children in the hospital dressed as. And I was like, oh, that's such a nice guy. Oh, wait a minute. He beats people and he bails Nick Cage out of his debt. Those are two terrible things that he's done.
Whoa. Why was bailing Nick Cage out of debt a bad thing?
I'll explain.
Okay.
When Nick Cage is in debt, he does terrible films that we love.
That's true. I can't argue that.
Shawn agrees with you. Verbinski's got skills, but he never saw Lone Ranger. And Marty says Captain Jack had rum, which I like rum too. I drink rum right now.
There you go. I think you and Marty need a Siskel and Ebert kind of show where you guys review different boozes. Get the sweater vests on. Drink.
I wasn't I supposed to do a video of me opening up that Sam Adams Utopias?
Right, you were supposed to.
I recorded it, so maybe I got to edit it together. That stuff is legit.
Yeah. Jamil's right. It is a little too long. I'm not going to lie. But by the time, I mean, I'm thinking of movies like Four Rooms. You can actually convince yourself that Four Rooms is kind of a good movie because the last two sequences were so funny.
Was one of those Alex Rockwell's? I can't remember.
No, unfortunately, his was not one of the good ones. It was Rodriguez and Tarantino were the good ones. But I mean, that's what I mean. Like, it ends on such a high note that you're almost okay with everything that came before it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That's
right. It.
Boozy and Danbert, that would be the name of our show, says Robert Melee. That closes out another episode of the Movies and Stuff show. Stay tuned. We are going to play the videos of our, you don't want to say colleagues.
We could say colleagues if we want
our colleagues, their picks, and we'll hang out in the chat and comment as well. Please make sure to like this video, comment below, subscribe to us. You can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Movie Stuff Show. If you listen to us on SoundCloud or on iTunes, please, 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 please like and follow us as well. Tune in next Monday night for a brand new vegetable lasagna show. We will be back next Tuesday with a brand new show, and then next Thursday, not this Thursday, the following Thursday would be Master Debaters.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We're putting it together as we speak.
I think figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any people that are going to be on yet?
I think we are going to bring back the Austrian Nightmare.
Really?
Yeah.
He's got the bug.
He's got the bug. Yep.
He's got the bug. So we're putting that together. Drunk people are lazy, Robert Melee. That's why I'm ending the show. But we've got like 20 minutes of videos from our we had to end early.
Yeah.
So we got like 20 minutes of videos. Abe says to our colleagues, 1 to 2 minutes, we get 7-minute videos. So, I mean, what are we supposed to do? We have to stop talking so we can play our colleagues' picks.
Yes.
It's a sacrifice that we make. And I'm going to go drink more gin.
There you go.
Final words?
Fidelio.
Doom. Later.
There we go. Bye.
Bye.
What's up, movie and stuff audience? I am giving my list of top 5 summer movies that would either bombs or are considered bad. Let's get to it. Number 5, Cowboys and Aliens. I really think this movie had a very unique premise. I enjoyed it for what it is. Harrison Ford looked like he was halfway trying. Number 4, Speed Racer. I really do believe Speed Racer gets a bad rap. I think it would have came out a year and a half later when the 3D craze caught on, I think it would have been a big hit. It's well written for what it is, which is stupid and dumb, much like the anime. Number 3, Armageddon. I think Armageddon is the perfect 90s blockbuster and it's the best Michael Bay has ever been. Number 2 is Lost World Jurassic Park, the only sequel Steven Spielberg has ever directed. And honestly, I like this almost as much as I like the first Jurassic Park. Almost. Some of the magic is missing, but what it lacks in magic, it makes up for more dinosaurs and more gadgets. And number 1 is Ghostbusters 2. I seen this when I was 4.5. I love it then. I love it now. I am not being partial about this. It's pretty much the best remake ever made, if you ask me, because it's beat for beat from the original. Even has the original cast with just more jokes. Peter McNichols is God in that movie. Thank you.
Okay, so I've been asked to pick out 5 summer movies which were box office flops, which I still inexplicably enjoy. And I'm going to explicate my enjoyment of them briefly. Because if I was important, I would actually be on the show with you guys. So, in no particular order, maybe reverse chronological order, almost. All right, well, so the first summer movie flop on my list is Ghostbusters, which is a movie that everyone hates, and they can't stop talking about it. So I'm going to make a new drinking game, which is every time someone talks about how much they hate Ghostbusters, you have to drink. This movie was not horrible. It was not great, but I mean, I didn't leave wanting to kill myself. I didn't leave thinking that the world was horrible. I didn't cry. I laughed a little bit. It was fun. And it wasn't that bad. And it's technically a flop. So Ghostbusters is the first movie on my list. All right. Number 2 is the dance epic Center Stage, which I'm sure that no one listening to this has ever seen or maybe even heard of. But this movie is notable for 2 things. One is I believe this was Zoe Saldana's first movie, maybe her first big one that people saw, because she was really a dancer. And all of the cast of this movie were dancers who they thought they could get to act. And that's the second reason why I love this movie, is that the acting is so bad. This is really the only movie which clearly captures what it's like to be a dancer and to be around dancers who are really just incredibly boring, awkward people. Because the only thing you do is dance all day, you really don't know how to hold a conversation or emote properly or do anything. And so beyond all expectations, this movie actually captures exactly why I never became a professional dancer. So it's just that miserable. All right. And of course, it's a cheesy dance movie, and it's more enjoyable than Ghostbusters, actually. I think men would probably enjoy it more than Ghostbusters also. Much better costumes, better music. All right, so number 3 is The Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage. And I really don't think I even have to explain that one. How to get burned! How to get burned! How to get burned! I mean, a lot of Nicolas Cage's movies could have been on this list, but it's just such a good movie. It's just so enjoyable for the things that it does wrong, which turn out to be so right. I'm going to go with Johnny Mnemonic, because I don't know how I could make this list without talking about Keanu Reeves at least once. Although he doesn't make that many summer movies. All of his horrible movies came out in the winter. I checked. So Keanu Reeves, you got a Henry Rollins cameo. There is a talking dolphin, and this was like after Sequest, so we already knew that was a bad idea for for anything. And I think maybe my favorite part of the Johnny Mnemonic movie is that it stopped them from considering William Gibson as a good source of movie stories. And so we're never going to have Hollywood ruin Neuromancer. Like, we got our absurd, like, cyberpunk William Gibson movie, and it didn't destroy one of the best books ever written. So we can thank Johnny Mnemonic and Keanu Reeves for that. I still like their like VR computer thing where they like use their hands and the gloves and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. All right, and then the last one, there's a little story that goes with this, but I've seen the movie Catwoman more times than the jerk who edited it. Like, I think I'm probably the human being who's seen that movie more than any other human being ever. The summer that movie came out on like HBO, it was on constantly. And that was the summer that I finished college, and I was staying in our apartment pretty much alone, and I just always had the TV on for background noise, and it was always Catwoman. And I never really sat down and watched it all the way through, but I probably had seen every scene at least 24 times. And I still couldn't figure out what happened in the movie. You know, just from seeing like 20 minutes at a time or half an hour on in the background or 10 minutes while I was making dinner. I couldn't figure out what happened. And so I did finally sit down and watch it once from start to finish. And I still had no idea what happened. Like, I assumed I had been missing some pivotal scene in the middle that explains everything, and I hadn't. And they were all in the order that I thought they were in, all of the scenes. I had seen the whole thing, and it still didn't make any sense. But I watched it so many times, I must have some sort of weird Stockholm thing going on. So 24 plus 1 is the number of times that I've seen the movie Catwoman, and I'm still alive. So Catwoman didn't kill me. Ghostbusters didn't kill me. I don't think you have a bigger flop than Catwoman. So beat that, guys. I have the best list with the biggest flops.
Okay, my list of 5 great summer movies that were either critical or box office failures. On number 5, a bit of a guilty pleasure, Deep Blue Sea from 1999, with I think one of the few killer shark movies outside of Jaws I really like, with lots of silliness, LL Cool J rapping as a cook, all the jazz. Number 4, from the same year, kind of an underrated movie, The 13th Warrior. Deep Blue Sea, I have maybe to add, this was more of a critical failure. That wasn't really a box office failure. Number 4, 13th Warrior, underrated movie. You can see in the movie, kind of see where the background troubles, behind the scenes troubles began, with Michael Crichton interfering. It's still a very solid movie. I think it has a great imagery. There's some really strong imagery, some really great scenes, so underrated. Number 3, Reign of Fire, another underrated movie from 2002. It's the same case as in 13th Warrior. You can literally see on the screen where they started meddling behind the scenes, and where they had to make budget cuts in the ending. But in fact, I think in the end, the movie benefited from that, because we had so much fantasy bombast around the time with Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. So I think the more intimate tone was really a refreshing change of pace. Also great acting by Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey. Great scenery drawing by McConaughey particularly. Number 2 is a very recent one, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. from 2015. I think I cannot recommend this movie enough. It's really, many people claim they want to clamor for a lighthearted movie, and actually they think those Marvel movies represented. I don't think so. I think they are rather heavy-handed. This one is really, has a good pace. It's very lighthearted. It has really good jokes. It's everything the James Bond movies have been and should be, with double entendres and bad jokes, and really good action. So I can only recommend this. And number 1 is maybe not so surprising. It's Blade Runner from 1982. More or less box office end, somewhat critical failure. I don't think we can add. It's certainly a classic. I was very surprised to see it was a summer movie. Maybe they would have had more success if they released it in November. Who knows? That's all.
Hey, this is Shawn, and I'm gonna give you my top 5 summer films that were either critical or commercial flops. And let me tell you, this was pretty fucking hard to think about all this shit. I quit a job just to do this, so you better fucking like it. My number 1, and this is no particular order. The number 1 I'm picking is The Iron Giant, the 1999 cartoon animation from Brad Bird, which bombed at the box office inexplicably. I don't know why. This is a beautiful film. It's a beautiful film for kids, adults. It teaches kids the great lessons of life, death, life, how to choose your own destiny, that you're not predisposed to do something that people think you're supposed to be doing. It's got Harry Connick as an animated beatnik who's pretty fucking entertaining. You got Christopher McDonald voicing surprisingly a douchebag, which is so unlike him. Jennifer Aniston has a nice little voice in there, you know, animated. Vin Diesel is the voice of the Iron Giant. The animation is beautiful. It's old school 1950s because it takes place in 1957 amongst the Cold War. And all I have to tell you is if you don't have a fucking tear in your eye at the end of this, you have no fucking heart. You have no soul. Just pack it up, put a bullet in your head because you're not human. My number 2 is Wyatt Earp, the 1994 epic Western that was a complete and utter failure at the box office. It was a $60 million movie. It fucking squeezed out a weak fart, $25 million. The critics didn't seem to love it. I think it was because it came out right after, a few months after Tombstone, two Wyatt Earp flicks, but let's be honest, Tombstone's a lot more fun, but Wyatt Earp has a lot to offer if you give it a chance. I think Caston did a smart thing because he had already made Tombstone. It was called Silverado, so he went and tried to do the epic real life historical drama. This is 3 hours and 15 fucking minutes long. You might have to stop it in the middle to give a quick jerk or take a piss, but it's worth it. Kevin Costner, really good performance, I think. Shows Wyatt Earp is, let's be honest, the guy seemed to be kind of a fucking cocksucker, douchebag, sexist, whatever. Maybe that was a thing in the day, but I really enjoyed it. Some good supporting performances by maybe a pre-druggy Tom Sizemore and Bill Pullman as the Masterson brothers. I really enjoyed this one. I think another thing that hurt, I think this is at the beginning of when everybody turned on Kevin Costner. I mean, he started to make these crazy long movies, wanted to be an epic thing, and it just didn't work out. But definitely check this one out because it's good. It's a Western, man. What else can you do? My next one, 3 words for you. Pisco Po. Dead Heat, the 1988 action sci-fi cheeseball horror flick starring the one and only Jersey Joe Piscopo and Treat Williams as, let's be honest, Treat Williams is the guy that they got if they couldn't get Harrison Ford or Harrison Ford's drunk uncle. So it was Treat Williams. This flick came out in '88. I remember seeing this in the movie theaters. Let's be honest, it's a B movie at best, but it's probably like a $500,000 RFIPD, whatever that fucking thing was with Jeff Bridges. It's about 2 cops who are investigating a murder. One dies and comes back to life, and hilarity ensues. You know, it's fucking Piscopo's finest performance. You know, Jersey Joe is a very muscular guy. He did things that Eddie Murphy couldn't do, like kick the shit out of people if his jokes sucked. And that's all I got to say about that. My number 4 movie is Jaws 2. Now, you all might know that Jaws is my favorite movie, but Jaws 2 is not bad at all. It was kind of lambasted by the critics, 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. It made a fucking ton of money. Now, is it Spielberg's masterpiece? No. However, it is a good flick, and it's a good flick. It's coming out in 1978, so you kind of get that Halloween type shit with the shark replacing Michael Myers, chomping on some fucking annoying teenagers, but it has its good points. You know, it has a very eerie shot in the beginning of the flick at nighttime, and you see a very quiet dock and bay, and the camera pans down, and slowly you see this shadow rising. and a fin come out headed towards Amity. I thought it was very effective. And of course, Roy Scheider is extremely effective. Don't know if he had any good dangling cigarettes in this one, but he does get drunk. So my final one is another kids movie, Cloak and Dagger, starring Henry Thomas and the one and only Dabney Coleman in a 1984 thriller directed by the Australian Richard Franklin. You might know him from Psycho 2 and the underrated and little seen Road Games. This dude, Aussie, so that makes him pretty cool, and he studied under Hitchcock, I believe. So the thing that's great about Cloak and Dagger is it was made in '84 when kids movies really put kids in some fucking danger. Henry Thomas, it revolves Henry Thomas as a little computer geek nerd. He gets this Cloak and Dagger game from Atari, which I believe they actually made, and there's some secrets in it. There's a microchip in it, which is all the wrong people are after. And he gets put through the ringer, man. He gets shot at. He gets threatened to be stabbed. It could maybe give some kids nightmares now, but it's all tastefully done. Richard Franklin, again, student of Hitchcock. This movie only made like $9 million at the box office. I'm not sure if that was a good haul back then. It probably was, but I don't remember this being a big hit. And I did see it on video, so it probably wasn't a huge hit because back in the day, my parents dragged me to everything just to shut me the fuck up. That's it, man. I hope you enjoyed my little stupid thing and enjoy.